Hey everybody, this is AJ from AJ's Handmade Creations, and today I am going to show you guys how to spin locks from a cloud. A lot of people see locks and think that they need a blending board or a drum carder to put them into bats or Rolex, and while that's a great way to use locks and get texture, it's not the only way. So I wanted to show you guys how to do it. Now these I got at a fiber event in Toledo, and they're really fun colors. Um, but what you do is you just pick up your handful of locks and you just kind of start pulling them apart and fluffing them out. Um, for this particular type of thing. See how that just fluffed right out into fuzz? You're making a cloud. Which is really loose and airy and easy to spin from, and kind of just looks like a big ball of mess, but it really is better than that. It's not very hard to do. There's not really a science to it. I mean, there probably is, but you don't have to do it scientifically. You're just kind of pulling a lock, like, let's see if I can find one that's not touched, like this one. See how nice and curly that one still is? And I'm just kind of grabbing a hold of it and pulling it apart. Now if you want to do lock spinning, you don't want to do this, or tail spinning, because those you want your locks intact. Um, this is going to give you a textured yarn, um, because of the curl and crimp and everything. But depending on how you spin it and what kind of locks you have, like this is actually BFL locks and Teeswater locks and kid mohair locks. So this is actually a variety. um, just make a cloud. You can go as far as you want, and as far as fluffing it out or not. I mean, it's really up to you. I'm actually spinning something really thin with this that I'm going to let auto wrap around applied yarn later, which I'll do a video eventually and show you. But so for this, I'm fluffing these up really good because I want to spin really thin from these, but you can actually end up spinning it however thick or thin you want. Okay, so this is my cloud. You can still see curls in it. You can see how it's really fuzzy and loose and open. Okay, it's huge difference than with what I started with, which was tight curls, to this. So you can either hold it all in your hand or shrink your cloud down. It really doesn't matter, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm gonna use my trusty Lendrum here, and like I said, I'm spinning really thin. This is actually the same stuff. I already started it. So you're just going to get it. Whoops, I'm dropping stuff. And it helps if you have your drive band on, right? You just take part of your cloud out like this and attach it just like you would top or roving or whatever, and just start spinning it. You're just going to pull it out of your hand, and I mean, maneuver it however you want. Pull your locks back, push more in, bend them down, draft them farther, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Go ahead and do it. And you'll get into a rhythm. I mean, when you start, you might be a little more apprehensive, but you need to have fun with it. And some people will do this method, excuse me, but will leave a lot of locks intact and do um, a thicker yarn. That's actually a lot more common. But since I had a specific project in mind for this, well, specific yarn in mind I wanted to make anyway, I kind of took a lot of that out and made mine really thin, but I don't know how good you can see on the camera, but this here, you can see it still has the mohair look with a little bit of a halo, which you can see up here how it's real fuzzy. It's got that going on, and um, you know, it's not all exactly this thin. There's some spots that are a little thicker, and that's fine. That's why I'm doing it this way, because that's basically what I want. But there's nothing wrong with, let's say, going like this, doing fat, slubby, curly yarns. That's really common. A lot of people do that. A lot of people apply that kind of yarn with thread, or I am kind of a fan of that lace mohair yarn you guys see in my store, or the sparkle lace, because it's got that little tiny bit of sparkles, or metallic sewing thread works, silk thread works. You really can play with all sorts of stuff. Or you can leave it just like this. You don't even have to ply it. Or you can ply two of these together and get a thicker curly yarn. And then you can use it for accents on, I don't know, hats, or, you know, texture and scarves. You can use it in weaving, knitting, crocheting. It's just like any yarn. You can do anything with it that you can put your mind to. So don't let it intimidate you. Just have fun with it. And really, messing with any locks, doing it that way is going to be the same process. Now, you might have what are like extreme locks. Like I have some 14-inch extreme locks that I'm hoarding. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. Those you probably wouldn't want to make it into a cloud. You'll probably want to leave those intact and do tail spinning, which there are other videos on YouTube, or I might get to that one day too. So tail spinning with the really long ones is common, making like a fringed yarn, and stuff like that. But this is a way to use locks without having to buy other equipment or tools, or you know, worrying that you're going to do something wrong to them, because you really can't mess them up doing it this way. I mean, your prep work is messing them up, so it's really fun. It's kind of a way to let loose and be haphazard and still be able, for people who are OCD and like the fine yarn, you can still spin a fine yarn with that, you know. So you're basically blending your fibers yourself too if you're using more than one kind of lock, like I am. If you can't find a blend of roving or top that has, let's say, mohair and teeswater and BFL, I just made some. So, I mean, it's worth trying at least once, unless you just really hate the idea of playing with locks at all. But it's really fun and easy to get the hang of once you get going. So, there you go.